guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all going to be about a comparison between Audible versus Scribd, what I think are the core differences, and ultimately what I would recommend if you are interested in listening to audiobooks. And if you want to learn why I actually have both of these services, then just keep watching. First of all, I just want to let you know I do have referral codes for both Audible and Scribd. Check out my links down in the description box. So first, let's talk about the comparison of how are these two services similar? Well, essentially Audible and Scribd are both audiobook companies where you can sign up for a subscription for either of these companies and you can listen to professionally narrated audiobooks every single month. Now let's talk about the core differences. So the first main difference is the price. So Audible is more expensive. They have two primary subscription plans. Now the lower priced one, which gives you 1 credit a month, is $14.95, and they have a higher priced one, which is $22.95 per month. They also have a yearly version, which I think saves you a little bit of money if you pay upfront for the year. Now, with the Audible plan, with those 1 or 2 credits, it's basically equivalent of getting 1 audiobook per month with 1 credit or 2 audiobooks per month with 2 credits. Scribd is actually a lot less expensive. It is only $8.99 per month, and that is for unlimited access to their audiobook library. Now let's talk about the selection. So I feel like for that price, it may seem like Scribd is a no-brainer, but obviously if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And I think the biggest differentiator between Scribd and Audible is the selection. Audible, in their advertisements, they kind of say like they have an unmatched selection of audiobooks. And I'm gonna be honest, I think it is true. If you want to have access to the new releases, the best-selling books. Basically, I think Audible is the way to go if you want to have the best selection of audiobooks out there. Now, Scribd, unfortunately, I would say does not have the best selection. Now, they still do have a decent selection. I think it's like a okay selection, enough so that I find audiobooks every month to listen to on Scribd. However, I think Scribd for the most part has more older releases. They have books by popular authors, but not necessarily like the new releases, the most popular books. Just think about that. Now, if the price is not that much of an issue and the selection is not that much of an issue for you, then let's talk about some of the extra add-ons and some of the things that you may want to consider for both of these services. One thing that's unique about Audible is they do have a lot of original content that you do get included in your subscription every month that does not come out of your 1 or 2 credits. So if you want to get access to that original content that's only available on Audible, then you may want to check out Audible for that. On the flip side, one thing that's really unique about Scribd is they do have actually a lot of content that is not audiobooks. So they have ebooks, they have access to written magazines and stuff like that, which is really cool if you do want to have more of that variety. One thing to keep in mind though with those ebooks is they don't work with a lot of traditional e-readers. My understanding is they do not work with Kindles or Nooks. So you basically have to get like more niche e-readers that I think that run on the Android platform in order to get those ebooks to work on an e-reader. So you may just have to read them on a traditional regular screen, not an e-reader screen, and just read them on your laptop or smartphone or something like that, but you may not be able to read them on a traditional e-reader. So keep that in mind if that is a major selling point for you for choosing Scribd. Now let's talk about the app experience. So I think for the basics of just listening to audiobooks just at regular speed, I think the apps are pretty similar. However, I think when it comes to the details, I would say Audible is better. I have run into a pretty consistent issue with Scribd where the audiobooks every like 15 minutes or so will just start like lagging and there'll be like a random gap of like where it'll just pause for like 30 seconds or something. It's not a big deal. It doesn't bother me too much, but it is like a little thing that I have run into. Personally, I think that is because I do listen to audiobooks normally at higher speeds, and I think that's part of the reason for the lag. That's also something to point out that is an advantage of Audible. On Audible, it goes all the way up to 3.5 speed for audiobooks. Now, Scribd also has a feature where you can listen to increased speeds, but it only goes up to 2x speed. So for most people, it's probably not a big deal either way, but if you are a speed reader, then you may want to go with Audible. So ultimately, my conclusion of which one is better, personally, I think they are both good services. I think if you are the kind of person where you have a specific book in mind and you just want to find the audio version of that specific book, then Audible is probably best because they really do have the best selection. However, I think if you are the kind of reader who doesn't necessarily have a book in mind when you go to browse for audiobooks, and you're okay just browsing around and just finding something that is available and looks interesting, then I think Scribd is probably the better option because it is cheaper and you do get unlimited access to books. So you can just keep listening to your heart's desire. Now, personally, I actually have a subscription to both Audible and Scribd, and this is why. For years and years, I did have the 2-credit subscription with Audible. However, I was frequently running out of credits because I was listening to more than 2 audiobooks per month. And for me, what made sense is actually downgrading to the 1 credit a month for $14.95 and then actually adding Scribd on top of that, and both of those together end up being just about the same price as the 2-credit Audible plan. It's a little bit more expensive. I think it's like $1 more expensive, but it's about the same price as what I was paying for years, and it ends up being basically unlimited audiobooks, and I kind of get the best of both worlds. I can use my 1 credit a month to get those new releases and get things that are not available on Scribd, and then for everything else, I can listen to unlimited amounts of audiobooks on Scribd. So for me, I think it's kind of the best of both worlds. I think if you listen to a lot of audiobooks, having both may actually be the best option. So that's it. Let me know which one you have or which one you are thinking about joining for audiobooks. And again, I do have referral links down in the description box. And that's it. Bye, guys.